most of you know what to do. You're just not doing it.
I go to the gym 3 days a week for 30 minutes and I eat 50-50 healthy, unhealthy. Why aren't I seeing progress?
If you have 300 calories excess in one day and you do that every single day for a year, you will gain 30 pounds.
A pond can become anything if it doesn't stop moving forward.
The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
What are some of the best fast food options? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I am fired up.
This is Motivation Monday. We hope you really enjoyed our Fired Up Friday from last week. So if you're wondering what was that bonus episode, that is something we're going to keep going, where every Friday we're going to alternate, me and Kyle. We're going to just spit some motivation, spit some fire, really try to get you engaged into the weekend. And we're always trying to elevate this podcast, add more value, keep it ad free, and just really make it the best it can be. And we got an awesome response from the first episode, so make sure you tune in as well for this week. Once again, a reminder on the different episodes we do a Motivation Monday, which you're listening to right now. We do a Topic Thursday, where we like to jump into a topic and really get into depth with it. And now we have the Fired Up Friday. So lots of great content to be had. And also there's a great opportunity to dig into old episodes. There's a lot of amazing content there, especially if there's a particular topic that is relevant to you or re-listening. I highly encourage it, especially as we get into the fall here. Peak that motivation and knowledge so the energy stays at an all-time high, especially as we begin to transition out of summer and get back into some good schedules. But now we're going to jump into our primary question, because it's Motivation Monday, formerly known as Mailbox Monday, where we answer your questions. And once again, a quick reminder, you can submit a question. We have a link that'll take you right to where you can submit a question, nice and easy, to our website. That way we'll have that and we can actually feature that on the show. But for our first question of the week, we have: what are some of the best fast food options? I'm on the road a lot and find wherever I look, I don't end up making the right choices. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, great question, because I know a lot of people can relate to this, myself included. It's funny because years and years ago, when Josh and myself started to do our work days, this was, let's say 12 years ago, we tried to figure out how can we choose a good option where we can, easily stay on track, we can hit our protein, we can feel great, and we can have some good discussions and not have to bring a meal prep container or have it interrupt our day. And so essentially where we started, I'll never forget, it's actually near my house, is called Fat Bastard Burrito. We used to have that quite often, and I'll never get out of my head that there's a place right beside called Filthy Phillies. And Josh laughs because I always make fun of it, but I'm like, I've never stepped foot in that place. I've always just got a burrito bowl. And it's funny because that was the habit that created what we would typically do, is look for a healthy bowl option. And that's my main tip. Something I want to really give you today to think about is that if you can do something where you can build your own and look for something where you can mainly have chicken as your protein source, that will be the greatest place to start, because so many of these places are just honestly, truly, and I hate to talk down on them, but filled with a lot of garbage. And it is so hard to succeed when there's tons and tons of oils where they just build something for you and there's no option to make your choices and to kind of tell them the sauces to choose and, maybe say, hey, I'm just going to grab a scoop of rice and that type of stuff. Is when you can build it, it makes such a big difference. So for us, we typically look for that. And even today, we found in our local mall, it's a place called Poulet Rouge, where it's just 6 toppings. You can choose a base. So we did half brown rice and half kale. And then you get double chicken, which is awesome. And it is just such a good, clean, healthy meal that energizes me for this podcast. It supports my fitness goals. And there's so many of these places, right? They're hard to find, I will say. Even in my other local mall, there's a place it's either called I'm Perfect or Imperfect. I don't actually know, but it's a similar option. It's very clean. It's very healthy, at least as healthy as it can be. And by us choosing these types of options, it makes it so much easier to succeed. Now, where it gets tough is obviously there's a time component to a lot of this, right? So most people, when they think of being on the road, on the go, they're always thinking, how can I grab something? How can I eat it while I'm on the go? How can I eat it within 2 seconds? And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck, is they typically think of fast food as I'm going to go through a McDonald's drive-through, a Taco Bell drive-through, a KFC drive-through, whatever the case is, and they're just going to eat it on the go, and they're just going to feel horrible. They're not going to be having their protein goals supported. They're going to end up gaining weight over time just because of a lack of planning. And so that's why I will say, if you can give yourself an extra 5 to 10 minutes to just look for that extra awesome option, you'll be in such a better spot. And my second thing here is, if you can potentially choose like a sub option, right? Like there's a lot of different places that can maybe do like a sandwich or a sub. Those are potentially good options as long as you choose the right stuff. And that's what I will have to say with like a bonus tip here, is that if you go into a Firehouse Subs and you choose a meatball sub, and Josh chooses a hook and ladder sub, which is like turkey and like just loaded with, I think it's close to 70 grams of protein. I could be mistaken, but it's pretty high. There's a very big difference between the two choices there, which is what's going to satiate you and help support your fitness goals. And that's something to be mindful of, is when you do choose these options, you have to still not only choose the right place, but you have to choose the right thing there, which is also very challenging for a lot of people.
Yeah, I find you have to play around with it more than anything. So everyone has different restaurants in their country, their space, their city, whatever it may be. And you can try something and see the options. And most importantly, it's not necessarily a place being good, it's what you order at that place. You can go to like a Subway and you can make that thing just the worst sub ever, where it's like 100 grams of fat and very minimal protein and just not positive for you. Or you can make better decisions and you can make it better, and you can obviously adjust it to your situation. Then there's also the quality of the food, and that's a whole different component. But more than anything, I like to look at what will support my macros, what's actually good for me, and what's going to leave me feeling satisfied. So obviously I'm optimizing for protein first, then I'm optimizing for fiber and other macros. And fiber is a good catch-all for food quality. Most generally, foods high in fiber are pretty high quality foods. And if you're eating fast food that's very minimal in fiber, the quality of that food is obviously going to be a lot lower. So these are the things you kind of want to look at. But even like a Chipotle, I could go there, I could order basically just like a chicken burrito. I get two burrito, like two tortillas, that'd be 600 calories. I'd get the chicken, which would be awesome. I'd feel really good that I did that. I could skip or I could get extra rice. I could skip the beans, and I could just load it with queso. And like right away, the quality of that is going to be a little bit different, right? Like we're already looking at a ton of calories here, and you can easily ramp that up quite high and dilute the quality. Whereas you can be a little bit more controlled. You get a bowl, you get a little less rice, you get the beans, you could go double meat, lots of veggies, skip the queso, and like you can get a lower calorie, higher protein bowl. But it really depends based on where you're at in your goals. If you're someone who needs a lot of calories, double tortilla is awesome when you're in a bulk. Like those 600 calories of carbs can be an awesome way to force in calories if you're bulking. So that's where it's not that like certain places are necessarily good or bad. You can make it work at any of them, especially ordering around it. Like even Subway, not many people know it, but you can do a salad. You can just get a ton of veggies, and then you can just pick a meat on there and have a chopped salad, and like that can be a very accessible option. McDonald's, obviously it's going to be harder to make a good decision per se, but there are better decisions you can make than not. And I think what's nice is when you find your staples, it's a lot easier just to have those in your back pocket, and you can always look for those when you're in the road or when you're in a certain area. Like for us, we'll go to different gyms, and around those gyms when we work, we'll have different places that we know are like better options, so that it stops us from feeling like we're stuck and we don't know what to do and eating garbage.
And I think it's very powerful that Josh actually mentioned that, because I know so many people who will say, hey, Kyle, you'd be so proud of me. I went to so-and-so place, and then I've seen all the potentially bad decisions that have been made. And it's funny because people don't do it on purpose. They just don't realize, right? And like, even as an example, we've been to Chipotle thousands of times. I've never tried the queso. I've never tried the brisket, the stuff that like, I think they have pulled pork, all that stuff. It looks so good, but I'm like, I just need to pick things that are going to support my fitness goals and what's going to be tried and true, right? And like, I put together an example of, even once again, someone will say, hey, you'd be so proud. I went to Chick-fil-A. I listened to your tips. I went there. I decided to go out of the way. I added a little bit of extra time, so I knew I wasn't going to be rushed. And I chose some good food. I got chicken there, right? And so 2 examples here. The one person that I'm just explaining here got the crispy chicken sandwich, the large fries. They got a cookie as well, just because they look so good and they taste so good. And then they got a regular Coke. So they just had 17 to 1900 calories, but they did choose the right place. Like Chick-fil-A typically is a pretty good place that you can incorporate, and it can support your goals very easily, right? And then another person decided to choose the grilled sandwich. They still got fries, right? They still got a small fries just because, they do taste great. And they got a diet lemonade, 700 to 800 calories. And by the way, I didn't mention the Chick-fil-A sauce. I actually forgot about that. But the first person ended up having 3 of them just because they wanted on the fries and the sandwich. So they're over 2,000 calories. But the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to these places, you just have to log in advance. You have to look at the menu. You have to choose wisely. And the truth is, you have to avoid letting the temptation get to you, because it's one thing to step foot into the place and get yourself there when there's other options, but it's another to make that right decision when you see other people having things, when you look at maybe an ice cream cone that you see that's like, oh, that would be good to have afterwards. It's very challenging. And I always love to use the example of a mall, right? Because if you were absolutely starving and you had no food around, and I said, hey, go to Poulet Rouge, go to whatever the bowl place is, the really healthy spot, you'd be like, absolutely, I can do that, no problem. But once I throw in 13 other places that are greasy and high in calories into the equation, a lot of people's willpower and discipline just goes down to nothing. They're like, oh, well, I'd rather Taco Bell, I'd rather New York fries, I'd rather all these other things. And it becomes harder to make that better decision. But when you keep the goals at the top of mind and know how it's going to make you feel and how it's going to support you, it makes the decision so much easier. But a lot of it comes down to the right knowledge, because people, like I said, do have the right intentions. And that's why I put together a fast food survival guide. So even if you're at Starbucks and you're like, oh, I don't know what to choose, right? I want the cake pop, but I'm thinking the egg whites. What do I choose? I have a full guide that I put together a little bit ago that's going to help you out. So make sure to click. It's going to be the second link down below. You can get that completely free. It shows you how to navigate restaurants, trips, make good decisions on the go. And I feel like you'll really learn a lot and you'll have more knowledge to be able to make the right decisions going forward.
Yeah, and circling back to what Kyle said at the start, I think a lot of it is your intention, and you need to ask yourself, what is the experience you're having? If you go to Chick-fil-A at the end of your son's soccer season, you go get an ice cream and you're really excited to have it, and the only one that's close to you is an hour away and you never go there, like, you can save more calories and you can have more fun options and you can make it fit in. But like, to this question, it's like, what are some consistent options? I'm always on the road. I want healthy food. And like Kyle said, the reason we've always said, okay, when we work together, we have to eat healthy food, because right away, if we ate garbage, like the amount of times we've done that and we've had work days together, like it would be horrible. The compounding of that would be so negative. But for us, always selecting a healthy option, now it's what we do. It's routine, it's commonplace, it's habit, and it just takes the guesswork out of it. And for me especially, I really like a simple healthy breakfast, a healthier fun lunch, even if I'm grabbing it to go. And like right away, your day feels so much better. Your energy feels better. I feel you get a lot less lethargy later on. But it's not to say like you can never have a burger and fries again. And that's where logging your calories is so good too, because you can play with things and fit it in. If you've been super diligent with your breakfast and your lunch and you're going out for dinner with friends and you're going to your favorite burger spot and you want a burger and a milkshake and you're like, okay, I can't fit the fries, like you can do that. And that's where we like the 80-20 rule. So our whole thing is we like people to be able, our clients to be able to eat whatever they want and lose weight. Now, of course, there's restrictions to that. It's very much like a budget. You can splurge in one area, but you may need to take away from others. And that's where you can have balance, because I think it's unrealistic to assume you'll never eat a fun food again or have something that's a little bit more caloric. But as a whole, especially for like just a common everyday lunch, you want to ask yourself, like, am I creating good habits? Because just the same, if your Chipotle order is always like the most caloric, most intense, it's going to be hard for you to deviate away from that. So that's where, even for me, like I try to be careful with what I have. And to Kyle's point with Chipotle, like they'll do all these fun extra meats that are really oily and like the honey hot chicken and all this stuff. And it's not to say you can't, it's just like, for me, it's kind of like, ooh, do I want to like start that rabbit hole instead of just having my bread and butter? Like this is almost max quality it can be. But there are so many good foods. Like Chipotle, you can absolutely make work. You can also make it crazy caloric. Cava is another great option. I think if you search healthy foods or healthy bowls, like there's a million of them now. You can look them up, see what the reviews are. You can go to their nutrition calculators. You can begin to kind of curate that out. There's also like niche health shops that will have different foods, and there's definitely more options for healthy eating. I find like the fast casuals are the best, like where you sit down, but it's still served quickly. The drive-through places, and I know like Chipotle, some places has a drive-through, but like typically your Wendy's, your McDonald's, those those aren't going to be your easiest to navigate, right? The food quality is going to be much lower. So like Kyle said, always lean for like having a big source of lean protein where you can get in a bulk amount of protein, a lot of veggie, a healthy carb, and you're going to be pretty set.
Honestly, like most places, you'll be able to find something. Like the truth is, you can, right? And I look at my local; it's like a drive-in place. It's funny because it's so important to think about the habits and what you can create based off of a habit. And even I've been there a few times, but I remember like probably 5 years ago, before I really knew about it, I had a burger and it was just so fatty and it wasn't that good, so I just didn't care for it. But now, whenever I go back, I just get literally one chicken souvlaki wrap. They load on the chicken, so it's amazing. Yes, there's oil. Yes, there's tzatziki. But what's cool is like I said, like Josh said about flexible dieting, is you can find ways to make it work. But a lot of times you have to ask yourself what's worth it, right? Because there are some places where if it's something I've been thinking about for a month and I haven't been there, I'm like, you know what? Okay, there's this cool pasta spot. I'm going out, like it's an actual dinner type of thing. But when you're thinking of these casual, like, hey, I've got like a little bit of time and I just wasn't prepared, what do I grab? You can always find the right choice. And just when you are typically looking for chicken, or even this place, like Josh had one time and I was like, man, I need to get that. It was literally just a Greek salad with like a lot of chicken on top. I'm like, yes, that's amazing. But when you look at the menu, there's milkshakes, there's so many other things on there. And that's what the average person, like 99% of people will be grabbing, is the fatty burger, with a bunch of fries that, are kind of okay, but not as great. And then a milkshake. And it's like, yeah, well, like we just went to the same place, but look at the two different choices. So once again, it's not to compare. It's not about being better than anyone, but it's about how do I navigate to be able to go out, to make good choices, to succeed for the rest of my life. And that's why I feel so confident when I go out to be able to look at a menu, to choose the right stuff, but also still stay on track. And that is super important when it comes to long-term success.
But yeah, grab that fast food survival guide. It'll get your brain thinking and you'll start to see options and macros and how caloric they are. And then you can kind of make choices on the scale of how healthy to unhealthy you want to go. Also, if you're someone who eats out a lot, it's easier just to go to those healthy options, like perhaps like as we do. But if you're someone who rarely goes, you can maybe afford to save more calories and have a little bit more flexibility there. It's like totally a personal scale, but that's where we like that 80-20 as a general rule. And you can tighten that up or loosen it depending on where you are in your goals. Like if you're doing a big bulk, you could afford to be a little bit looser. Whereas if you're really deep in a cut, you're going to have to be pretty strategic. So great things to consider. Definitely grab that guide. You'll really enjoy it. But now we're going to jump into our favorite quote of the week that's been on our mind, that we've been thinking of, and that has us fired up.
So my quote for this week is, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. So I really like this because I feel like oftentimes on the fitness journey, a lot of people are looking for that new next thing, right? I talk about this all the time, but typically it's the thing that we're avoiding, maybe the strength training workout, tracking calories, hiring that coach, joining that challenge. Like that's where the magic is. But a lot of people are like, you know what? Like that sounds great and all, but I'm thinking I need something else. I'm thinking I'm going to wait for the next new and exciting thing. But when you think about it, most of you know what to do. You're just not doing it. And that's what we talk to so many people who are consistently struggling, and they think they need this new approach or they think they need something different, but often the answers are right in front of them. And it's funny because once we give them those answers, like I've had a lot of people who have listened to the podcast for years and they're like, man, I just, I hear you, I just haven't been implementing. And they're like, okay, finally, I'm going to join your program. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. And when they come in here and they realize that, a lot of the things they've known for the last few years, they just haven't been doing it, but they've been looking for a different resource, a different class, a different, like whatever. Like everybody loves to look for that new and exciting thing. But when they realize that's what's not going to get them to succeed, even like all of my successful clients, they're like, man, I'm so proud because I've been hearing you say all this stuff. I just haven't been doing it. So yeah, I love that quote. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things about being a coach is I think a lot of us know it, but we have a hard time swallowing or accepting it. And as a coach, it's really good to get in there and say, okay, yeah, you do a great job. You eat really healthy until Saturday comes. And every Saturday I see this huge goal where we're going way over, you're drinking too much. Like this is where you need to tidy up and we're going to see a massive change. And we make that change or we find a better way to navigate that and things just click for them. Or maybe they hate the gym because the workout routine they've been on has been horrible and it hasn't been created for them and they haven't seen the results. And a lot of the time too, like even just having someone to push you to say, hey, you're not moving very much. Like, you have such a sedentary job. you're in the gym, you're killing it, but you're doing no cardio. Like, you need to account for this cardio. Like, it's not easy hearing things that we're doing wrong or where we can improve, but to me, I love it. Like, even for us, I was listening to like a podcast yesterday with Gary V, and he mentioned, like, someone said, hey, we post 5 pieces of content a week and we're not growing our following. And I resonated with that, because I'm like, we've been killing it with the content and we have been growing our following, but it hasn't been as explosive as we'd like. And then he said, I post 397 times just yesterday. And obviously he's got a lot going on. He's a pretty massive influencer, but stuff like that's so nice, because it really breaks your beliefs of like, oh, I'm doing so much, I'm killing it. And maybe you feel that way. You're like, hey, I go to the gym 3 days a week for 30 minutes and I eat 50-50 healthy, unhealthy. Why aren't I seeing progress? And I say, hey, look if you want to look like me in this pic or my client in this pic, like, this is going to require you 5 times to be in the gym, 60 minutes. You're going to do a little bit of cardio. We're going to move that up to 80-20. Like, this is the level of work you need to get to the result you want. That's motivating. It's belief breaking, because maybe before you think you're at this scale you should be at, but there's work you're avoiding. There's gaps in our game. There's, as Kyle likes to say, the gap in the gain, a book he read, where I think the entire book was really just highlighting the fact of the gap in the gain, which he can share, which is essentially this. It's like, where is your gap and what can you gain in that gap? Because if you're someone who blows your diet every weekend, that is a huge gap. And like, by you just fixing that, you're going to gain so much over getting new gym equipment or doing some fancy new workout or what, like, that is your gap, right? And especially in major movers, like obviously being on a good routine with progressive overload where you're pushing yourself and you're actually seeing progress, actually making sure if you want to lose weight that you are indeed in a deficit, that your protein's accounted for, and that you're rested and managing stress. Like, if you carry those major factors, you will see progress. But anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I just thought about how many people I talk to and listen to that are just like waiting for that new and exciting thing. Like, if I just said, hey, there's a new Pilates studio opening, or like there's this new kind of HIIT class that like gets you to just sweat a bunch and, you know, you add in this fancy thing, like, I'm telling you right now, people will be like, where do I sign up? Like, take all of my money. But if I just said, hey, here's a strength training program you should follow, and like, if you track your calories and macros, like, you'll see some great results. So like, oh, you know what? Like, no, I'm going to lean towards the other thing. So yeah, just a reminder. Like, I'm so tired of seeing people struggle. And the truth is, once they come into the program and they say, hey, you know what? You told me exactly what I need to do. But like, once again, I'm not going to tell you not to go do something else that you want to do, as long as we're focused on the main stuff and the fundamentals. That's how you're going to see the best results.
And yeah, for my quote, we've been liking chess. Wow. I mean, you've probably heard us talk about on the podcast, probably about 3 or 4 years now. It's funny. It started with my wife didn't know what to get me. Or Kyle didn't, and he asked my wife and she's like, oh, he loves chess. And like, I don't know where she got this from. I think I played like 3 times in my life. So Kyle bought me this really fancy chessboard. And then from that, it just kind of spiraled into all of us playing chess, getting into it. There's like a chess club where we're not super intense nor are we super good, but I do think it's a really fun game and there's a lot of lessons you can learn from it. And we've drawn parallels before, but this quote, like in chess, if you don't know, a pawn is like the most basic piece. It doesn't do very much. It's not very strong. It can just march forward until it can take, unless you do know chess and you can do some funky things like en passant. If you know what that is, you're a real chess player. But anyways, my quote is, a pawn can become anything if it doesn't stop moving forward. And essentially in chess, if the pawn can get to the end of the board, it can turn into any piece outside of the king. So it could be a queen, a bishop, a knight, a rook, whatever you want it to be, it can evolve. And what I love about this, and one thing I always tell my clients, because it's so easy, and I've said before, to get caught up on other people's progress or how much more you could have done, or if things were perfect and you didn't get sick, where you would be at. But my whole thing in fitness, health, success, any of these things is, if you are moving forward, if you just keep going forward, you can really become anything. You can do anything. And even it could just be one thought. Like, if I look back to just me executing on one thought, or Kyle bringing a great idea to the table, how much it's radically changed our life. Like, hey, we should start a podcast. Like, taking that started from one thought, one decision. Now you're listening to this. Hopefully we've helped change your life. Like, it's amazing how powerful these things can be, but you can only really experience them if you do keep moving forward and you allow yourself to have that opportunity to change, if you allow yourself to evolve and see that. And it is a process, and you got to slowly march down that board. But sometimes too, it feels like there's no growth and you're just having this small incremental progress, and then boom, it's massive. And weight loss can be like that too. You can stack good day, and the scale can stay the same. Then you get this big big whoosh and you can get like 2-3 pounds and you can be like, what the heck? And it's amazing how much more rewarding it is. So I think it's a great reminder too, just to keep moving forward. If you fall down, get back up, and you truly can do or become anything.
Yeah, one other thought I had, like kind of relating to that, was even Josh the other day. He's like, if we have a thought, like just do it. Like, what are we waiting for? And I thought it was a great point, because even today I was listening to Chris Williamson, where he said, and I've shared this quote before, but it's like, talking about the thing isn't doing the thing. Thinking about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. And he like lists a bunch of stuff. And I just thought about how many people just will talk about and think about doing something, and then they won't do it. And even myself, I can be guilty of that too. It's like, oh, I want to fix this problem. It's like, oh, you know what? Maybe in next week's meeting, I'll do it. Or like next month, or we want to do Fired Up Friday. Let's wait until, you know what? Let's wait until the end of the year, or like 2027. So it's like a lot better then. It's like, what are we doing? Let's just do it. And I see a lot of people operating with that, where they say, you know what, maybe Monday, I'm going to do this, and like, I'm going to wait until a new quarter, or whatever the case is. So my point I'm trying to get across is, when you say you're going to do something, just do it. Even if it's imperfect, like that's the best way to do it. It's funny, because I've been wanting to do this new type of video style for like so long, but I just couldn't really bring myself to do it. And when I did it yesterday, it was a little bit uncomfortable because I'm not used to it. But I was like, you know what? I do know for a fact that the first time it will not be perfect, but I'm going to learn something from it. I'm going to learn how to make it better, how to make it more appealing, how to make the hook better, how to, I'll get the editor to make the text better if we need to. But if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. And that's just a simple takeaway I wanted to share with you, is take action. You will never regret it. And just one other thought I had, it literally just hit me today, maybe because I've seen someone else post something like that, but I searched up today, if you have 300 calories excess in one day, and you do that every single day for a year, you will gain 30 pounds, which is crazy. Like, this is obviously assuming that you're at your maintenance, and then you go 300 calories over. And what's crazy is, obviously 3,500 calories is going to be 1 pound. And when you add all of that up, it's just crazy to me how easy it is to gain weight, but also in that sense, how easy it is to lose weight, right? If you're 300 calories under your maintenance, you could lose 30 pounds in a year. And the point I'm trying to get across is that all it takes is one small decision, right? One decision to order the extra stuff when you say you're not going to, that nighttime dessert, the nighttime cupboards, the, peanut butters that you're not tracking. I don't want to get too deep into it, but the point is that when you can just really realize how quickly small things add up, right? Because if I said to someone, hey, you just had an extra this much per day, but you could gain 30 pounds in a year. I know it's not fun to hear, but people are like, no way, like, I don't believe that. But the math is there. Like, it's absolutely true. And it's funny, well, not funny, but over the years, I see people like gaining weight, and it just happens. And a lot of people don't realize it's not a mass. It's not like you're going to buffets every day. It's not like you're deciding to just go chug a liter of Coke every day. It's just the small actions that add up over and over and over again that can just lead to incremental weight gain and just not feeling your best. So I just thought that was an interesting stat that I wanted to share. So make good decisions, eat well, eat healthy, and you'll always be in a good spot.
And now we're going to jump into our client shout out this week. And we have my client, Karlie. So my whole thing, like, I think as a coach, my favorite thing to do is help people go from good to great and really see their full potential and just work to amazing goals. And I think if there's one thing I despise, it's good enough. And like, one big thing I believe in is that good is the enemy of great. Like, I feel like there's so much lost potential from people saying good enough. And I think we've all been there too. Like, when you have to do something, it's like almost worse than not doing it to me. Like, and that's where we can get super into quotes and stuff. But I'm a big believer in how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think doing things with excellence is just so much better through and through. And I think with fitness as well, like, a lot of people are just complacent, they're okay. And what's brutal about being okay or complacency is naturally that usually goes the wrong direction. That can slip very fast. Whereas people that are always striving, they're always reaching, and they're always winning, it gets addicting. It gets a lot of fun, and it's a lot easier to stay in the winning column when you're winning. Whereas if you've ever played sports and you're just like that team where you can never win, you're last place, like, the morale is not the most positive there. Whereas when you're on like a team that's undefeated, like, people are locked in, they're fired up, and it takes time to get there. But I think Karlie's a great example of, most people would look at Karlie and say, wow, like, you look fantastic, you're super fit, like, goals, right? But for her right now, like, we're having so much fun really just optimizing and really just helping her continue to build her dream physique and feel fantastic. And she just shared an incredible photo of her on an amusement ride, just looking absolutely jacked, killing it there. And then a photo of her at the beach, just looking lean, shredded. And like she said, she just felt fantastic there. Like, just, it felt so good to be amazing. And like she said, she's still striving for more and there's still, she wants to achieve. And for me too, that's what keeps it fun. Because if I'm just like, okay, I look great, I'm jacked, I'm strong, I've done it, and I just let go, like, that's not fun at all. Like, to me, I'm very happy with where I'm at, right? I'm always happy, but I'm always striving and hungry for more. And I think Karlie's a great example of that. She kills it. She navigates a busy work schedule, being a mother, doing all these different things, but continues to strive to achieve and do more. And her physique is just getting better and better. Like, we're just winning everywhere in terms of composition, strength, energy, happiness. And I think that's what I love the most, is unlocking that full potential, because it's belief breaking as well. Like, once you start to realize, like, oh my gosh, I am someone who's like a top 1% fitness. I'm not just someone who looks okay. Like, that is an awesome, awesome feeling. Even one of my other clients shared with me how she took one of her clients out to she took her daughter out to a concert, and she wore her jean shorts and got dressed up. And she said in the past, like, she would just kind of hide and not be happy where she was at. But she said she felt cute. She looked good. She's never felt amazing. And she like teared up, which was fantastic. Like, it was just so awesome for her. And she's like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, it feels so good to look and feel good. And I think that's what's most important, especially as life continues on and things pop up. It's like, ask yourself, am I actually living up to my potential, not just the quota or doing the bare minimum or just floating by because that's what other people do? So if you want to strive for more, like, that's where, like I said, I really particularly enjoy that. And I like looking for every optimization and doing it in a healthy and sustainable way. So you can still have a life, you can still have fun foods, you're not living in the gym, all these great things. But once again, a huge shout out to Karlie for living that life, and just be ready. We're going to stack more and more results, and there's going to be more crazy transformations to share.
Yeah, we have so many amazing fit people who are just crushing it in our program. And what we see a lot of people being held back by is, like, number one, the good enough, like the complacency, which I would argue is one of the worst places to be. Like, even for us, when we look at our fitness journey, our business, our podcast, like when we do stuff, the day that we become complacent, it's just like, it's just not a great place to be. And so what's cool is we have so many trainers too, right? Like, a lot of trainers who are saying, you know what, I want to level up. I want to become better. I'm already good, but I want to become great. So that is an amazing spot to be. But a lot of times complacency holds people back. And then on the other end, there's a lot of people who just have a lack of confidence, a lack of belief. And that's because they've tried over and over again. They've struggled. They've tried keto. They've tried 75 hard. They've tried everything in the books. And they just say, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, I'm not meant to be fit. I don't deserve this. I don't have what it takes. And for us, we can literally change anybody's life. If you're willing to put your best foot forward and to trust the process and invest in yourself, you will become an amazing version of yourself. You will absolutely lose weight. You will absolutely build muscle, but you have to be the one to take that first step and to invest in yourself and to, put the effort in, because we will give you the game plan. We'll do everything it takes. And I'm so passionate. We've obviously helped 5,500 people now to date. It's been about 11.5 years of coaching now, which many people cannot say. Most people just started either in COVID, or a lot of people have started like a year ago because now it's trendy to be an online fitness coach. But we've been doing this for many, many years and helped every single person of any sort. So yeah, we're so passionate about this. Amazing job, Karlie. And we can't wait to help some of you awesome people.
Yeah, and good is the enemy of great. And as coaches, I really believe that my program is great, because good is horrible. Like, even it just breaks my heart hearing some coaches just doing good enough and doing subpar routines, being under involved in their client's life, not understanding their client where they're at, and really maintaining a relationship through that, because this is your journey and you deserve to be confident to succeed on it. And for me, like, my whole thing, what makes my program great is, like, when someone signs up with me, like, I'm so personally invested. And I always tell every client I have is that together we cannot fail, and to run to me, not away from me, because I'm going to be there to lift you up when things are hard. I'm going to be there to encourage you when you're demotivated, and we're going to work together to make sure we're continuing to go forward and continuing to win. And I think it's a great segue into our second question, because we are super fired up about this. And that is, I've been hearing you talk a lot about the upcoming challenge, and I was wondering what it's all about. I've done 75 hard before a few times and I failed it.
Yeah. Yesterday I posted on the story, like, there was a ask me anything about the challenge, and I had a bold take. I said that our challenge to me and all of our challenges are actually better than 75 hard, in my personal opinion. And I stand by it. We've done, actually, I was doing the math the other day. We've done somewhere between 10 and 15 challenges over the last 5 to 6 years. We haven't been doing them all throughout. We just started it like around COVID. That was actually our first challenge, which was really, really cool. And it was really successful. We've given away hundreds of t-shirts. Our clients have lost thousands of pounds. And we've also had quite a few hundred participants all throughout. And actually, even it was cool. I'll post up here. Michelle said this is her 5th challenge with us. And every single time she learned something different, which I just thought was so cool, because our biggest goal with challenges is to push you out of your comfort zone, to really challenge you, but also make it sustainable, right? And what I will say, and if you've done 75 hard, if you've tried it, and I think Andy Frisell is great. I love his motivational videos, but it's more of a mindset thing, and it's not for everybody, right? And when it comes down to our challenges, we've taken a bit of a spin-off to make it the most realistic, to make it extremely challenging, and to only focus on the fundamentals that we truly feel like will actually help you become a better version of yourself, and to help you grow and to become better and to lose weight and just become the next level version of yourself. So essentially what it is it's starting September 1st. It's going to be 30 days. There's going to be 5 daily criteria tasks that you'll have to follow consistently in order to be eligible for the $2,000 cash prize. Anybody that completes it 100% will get an exclusive limited edition Colossus Fitness t-shirt as well. What's awesome is we still have clients consistently wearing it that say, hey, you know what? I earned this. To me, there's no better feeling than wearing something, having a medal, whatever it is, saying, I earned this and I worked for this. So that's an amazing addition that's going to be taking place as well. But the truth is, when it comes down to this entire journey, it's not about just doing something for 30 days. What I love though is 30 days is enough time to literally change who you are. If you have no alcohol for 30 days, if you hit your steps, if you hit your water intake, you hit your protein, all these things that we're going to have within the challenge, there is a 100% chance that after these 30 days, you become better. You will be able to stay consistent. Some people say it takes 66 days to build a habit. Some people say it takes 21, whatever the case is. But I truly believe 30 days of just doing something and doing it consistently, it becomes second nature. And that's why we've done it this way. We've tried 60 days. We've done a couple weeks. We've done 21 days, 30 days of relentless work and amazing community. We're going to be sharing we're going to be sharing recipes. We're going to be working all together. We're going to be following the same criteria and so much more. So if you've ever wanted to join our coaching program, now is the time. All you have to do is message me saying challenge to my Instagram at Colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT. We do still have the early bird pricing, 25% off. 6 spots have been filled up. So all you have to do to grab your spot is message me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible and get you those guaranteed results. And I can't wait to have you join us for this amazing challenge.
The hardest part of this challenge is joining, right? It's overcoming that internal monologue of like, I'll just do it myself, or I'll figure it out, or I don't need this, or I don't want to invest in myself. Like the second you say, hey, no, I'm a priority, I deserve to be a priority, and like my fitness and health, it's your everything. It connects to your relationships, connects to your professional life, it connects to your health long-term and your finances in terms of avoiding costly medicines and treatments. Like this can be your catalyst to change. And like Kyle said, you absolutely will change. So it's reaching out and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to step up for the challenge, and knowing that you're going to be better because of it. And even with this question, the way it's asked, like failing 75 hard twice, like I don't believe it's really designed to be something you succeed with. And I call it the 75 hard curse. I still don't know anyone who's completed it that stayed consistent, because like it's just this attitude of like, I can only do well when I'm going so above and beyond and I'm doing this crazy level of effort. And that's cool and it works for a period of time, but it's like, can you also succeed in the monotony of life, the boring, the things that pop up, the different seasons, right? And that's where we really curate our challenge to be different, because you get full coaching with it. So you're getting a 90-day accelerator. So you're getting support before, during, and after, like Kyle said. So not only am I going to help elevate you and show you what you can become, but I'm going to help you transition out of that and reintroduce some things and reevaluate where they go in your life. But it's really up to you to do that hardest thing first and just say, I deserve this. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to see this change, and like grab this discount. This is a crazy deal. Do not miss out on it. Message us, challenge to our Instagram at Colossusfit, and we can't wait to help you. Question 3 is, what are some of your biggest personal fitness mistakes, if any? I always find learning from other people's mistakes is helpful. So I'll go first. I can't say I have a ton. I thought about this. I read it a little bit early and cheated, and I spent some time thinking on it. I think for me, my biggest mistake would be overeating at dinner or over ordering. And I mentioned this before. I love food. I think I'd like to say my eyes are bigger than my stomach, but I think my stomach's bigger than my eyes. I could eat very easily 5 to 6,000 calories every day, no issues. Like I would be down. Like it would not serve me. It is not good. And because of that too, like I get really excited the premise of having a ton of food. But what's bad with that is if you just go sometimes after and then you track it and you're like, oh my gosh, I had 2,000 calories. I'm over. So for me, the easiest fix here and like where this isn't a problem whatsoever is just pre-logging my food. And that's why I love tracking my macros, because it takes all this guesswork out. It takes all this guilt out. So if I want to have like a fun dinner, like a lean beef pasta or something, I can know exactly how much I can have, whether it's a plate, whether it's a plate and a half, 2 plates, or half a plate, whatever it is. I can make that kind of work and remove that guilt or question it. And if I have a smaller portion, I'll kind of nurse it, eat it a little bit slower, enjoy it. But I can eat it guilt free because I have that tracked in. Whereas if I was left to my own devices, I would be probably 260 pounds because once again, I can eat and I love food. Of course, I train hard and all these things, but for me, it's like a capping mechanism. And some people are like that, right? You're kind of all or nothing. And like, I'm very much that way. And I think I could eat quite a lot, but to me, it's such an easy solution. I'm so thankful for pre-logging because it just takes all that guesswork out. I know like, okay, this is the level of calories I need to be at to maintain, to bulk, or to cut. So this is just exactly where I need to be. I can get it tracked in. I can enjoy it guilt-free. I can have my favorite foods. I can have fun foods. So I'd say that's my biggest mistake, but there is a very easy solution there.
This is such a tough one because I'm not perfect. I have a lot of mistakes I feel like I've made. But you know what's funny is if you were to ask me, do I regret them? My answer is no. And here's why. For me, I feel like everything I've done, I've been able to learn something from it. And I was having a conversation with my client, Kyle, shout out Kyle. He's actually lost 15 pounds doing a shred. And now we're going through a lean bulk phase. He just renewed with me for a year and I'm excited to crush it with him. Just got some new programming sent over. And it was funny because as I was talking to him, I was saying about some mistakes I've made. And I said, you know what? I've made these mistakes so you don't have to make them. And I thought it was so powerful because I've done a lot of things in my journey and we've tried a lot and I've failed with some things and I've succeeded with a lot, but I feel like every single time it's made me a better version. And what's awesome is I can save people time. And some of the things I was sharing with him was that I did a dirty bulk, they call it a Falk, up to 207 pounds. And it was fun. I was having 5,000 calories a day. We documented on YouTube. It was great, but I was like, I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't enjoy it that much. I loved being like just super jacked and huge, but I was like getting to create the new habits afterwards from what I was doing. I was like, it was very challenging. It was very hard. Would I say that was a mistake? Not really. Would I say I, just wouldn't do it again? Absolutely. Even like different things such as the amount of times I've trained. We've tried 6 times. We've done 4 times. We've done 5 times. Like I've tried literally everything. I've tried intermittent fasting. I've tried full body. I've tried everything. And so I wouldn't say there's exactly mistakes, but there's just a lot of lessons learned along the way to make the journey easier for you guys. So when I navigate and try to help someone out, I'm like, hey, you know what? Here's what I've done before. Here's what I've noticed works, what doesn't work. Here's what I wouldn't do again. Even an injury, right? Like the time that I don't really tell the story much, but I dropped a dumbbell, skid down the side of my head, and then messed up my shoulder, and it's never been the same. I learned I got to stop ego lifting. If I pull my back doing a deadlift, I got to stop ego lifting. It's a good reminder. So while these are mistakes, these are reminders that I feel like have been necessary to make me become the smartest and best version of myself. And I have a countless amount of stories where I just kind of messed up and just wasn't perfect, or, went in like when I should have taken a rest day and listened to my body, but I didn't, and then fill in the blank. But these things happen. It's a part of the process. I'd like to say that I've done it so that way I can educate you guys. And when I talk to you one-on-one within your fitness journey and you ask me advice about what to do when you're sick, or you have a potential injury that took place, or, you're wondering what to do calorie wise, I'm like, I can navigate from a sense of like, hey, I've done it. I've tried it, instead of just being like, oh, I think this is the best thing for you. So yeah, I know that's a very different answer than what people are expecting, but that's kind of my thoughts on the mistakes that I've made. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us today on this podcast. All you have to do to claim your spot, 25% off. This will be gone very, very soon. You will not want to miss out on the biggest challenge we've ever done. $2,000 cash prize, guaranteed prize upon completion, guaranteed and amazing results. Message us challenge to Instagram at Colossusfit, COLOSSUSFIT. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you in the next episode on Thursday. Peace out.